So you're asking me to tell you a story, and I want to tell you a story about a young woman who used her story to change the world. At least she changed her school. And this is a young woman who moved from the war in Iraq, who left the war in Iraq as a refugee with her whole family, and moved to a different kind of war in Canada. When she arrived in public school in Canada, she felt like she was in the same bombing situation that she had been in Iraq. She felt as traumatized by not being welcomed, by being stared at, by constant questions about her hijab, her scarf that she was wearing, that she only lasted 2 weeks in that school. Then she went to another school and had the same experience, even though it was a smaller school, even though she thought that it would be a friendlier place. And she begged her father to take the whole family back to Iraq because the war in Iraq was preferable to the culture shock that she was experiencing in Canada. Now what's happened to this young woman is she found the Cowichan Intercultural Society where she lived, in the community where she lived. She started developing her English skills, she started developing her confidence, she found a youth group where she could be herself and be accepted by people that were learning how to be welcoming. And so she emerged from that war. And now she's a university student in the Cowichan Valley. Her name is Shahad Al-Sadoun. She co-facilitates workshops with me, and we tell that story. She tells the story, and then we help use it to shift the group of people in understanding the journey from one world to another and our role and our responsibility to be welcoming of each other when new people come into our world. So Shahad was invited to go back to the original high school that she had left after only 2 weeks and share her story. She shared it with 2 different class groups of grade 10 students, and before my very eyes I watched a whole group of students shift from seeing her as a stranger who was not to be encountered to seeing her as a courageous young woman who was helping them learn how to be welcoming ambassadors and really question their assumptions about how Canada is so welcoming. Because if Canada is so welcoming, why had their peers not welcomed her when she arrived in their school? So it created a big conversation about how to learn to welcome people that we traditionally cast off as social outcasts, and it is changing her school in many different ways.